beg your pardon. I'll start that again. Just basically a very special, intense experience out in the far west of Ireland. Very beautiful landscape that really immersed us in the world. It was an absolute pleasure roller coaster and absolute joy to work with all the boys at Glassy Crew. Extremely talented team on both sides of the camera in Ireland and in Belgium. So yeah, it was not much else for me to say, but an absolute pleasure.
Hey, I'm John.
Speak into the mic.
I'm sorry, yeah, you're right. Yeah, very. You just wanted us to introduce ourselves. That's what we did, yeah. Okay. My name's John. I play the mute.
Hi, my name is Stanley, and I play the distortion.
I directed it. Hi, I'm Connor, one of the producers.
JB, I'm the writer.
I'm Hugh, who played Call.
So, Brendan,
Yes.
a cheerful little tale.
I haven't seen it in a long time, so I was as entertained as anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great. We were saying that Irish films were full of heart and humour, but in your case, they
Who said they're full of
it's just.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, it takes all types of films to, if we were just all like, if it was all comedy and light, there'd be no diversity.
And can you tell me just a little bit how you got together with Jamie and worked on the story?
I knew Jamie for going back quite a bit, and Jamie used to come into town on a Sunday and go for, I used to live in town, and he used to go for coffee in a little coffee shop near me.
Starbucks.
Anyway, so Jamie pitched me this idea of monks travelling through Ireland in the 13th century, bringing something. You didn't know what it was at that stage, did you? Yeah, you weren't too sure, and you said there was an ambush, and I went, oh, that sounds good. I liked the period. I liked the idea of the locations of Ireland as well, and I just went from there. I asked Jamie to, maybe do a treatment. I can't remember. Was it a treatment?
Yeah. Bit of a treatment, and then from there, wrote I think an 8-page treatment, and then sort of developed a little, sent to the Irish Film Board, and spiraled out from there.
So, and the very tense chase thing, have you done much of that kind of thing before, chasing through forests with?
I haven't made an action film. I've made a film that dealt with violence and had some icky violence in it before. And I had made a short film where there was a chase through the woods, if that's what you're talking about. I mean, look, we didn't have a lot of time, so when I watch those chase sequences, I'm kind of, we've used nearly every bit. I don't think we've reused anything, but it's very hard actually to watch a film that you haven't seen in a while, and you made, it's a relatively small budget for what we were trying to achieve. It was a big budget for me, but when you've got a huge cast, you've got stunts, you've got water work, you've got horses, I could go on, period. So your time is really limited. So when you're asking about the chase, I sort of look at that could be much better.
I don't know, it's very tense.
Okay.
Can you tell us what the budget and the time frame of the film was?
That'd be a producer.
Blah 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 blah. No, it's funded by the Irish Film Board and by a couple of funds in Belgium, BAI, and it's a budget of really about €5 million around there, we shot it in the end of Ireland 2015, and now we finished it last year. So there you go.
How long did you shoot for?
It was about 6 weeks, about 4 weeks in Ireland and 2 weeks in Belgium.
Looked cold. Can you also tell us a little bit about the casting process in the one?
Well, we had a very good casting director, Dan Hubbard, and our exec producers, XYZ, were very involved as well. They helped us put together really a fantastic cast, I have to say. It's like we were just really lucky. I think we all realize how lucky we were. But I also think the cast, enjoyed themselves and pulled together, and it was a good experience for everyone. So overall, it was good.
We're going to take some questions. It's difficult to see you, so shout out.
I have a question.
Please go.
You went back and forth between Gaelic, English, and French, and how did you make the decision about when you were going to make those switches?
Well, the language sort of delineates each tribe within the film. English language wasn't actually around at the time, so we've cheated a little bit, and I think Jamie would have been Latin, they would have been speaking, so we...
It's English for Latin.
English for Latin, so, but it's sort of the Normans are, they speak French, they obviously the Irish speak Gaelic, but I liked the way that the language is used to exclude the tribes or to play tricks, or I particularly like the way Raymond uses it when he switches to try and trick the mute, because he's trying to find out who he is, and when he switches to French, he's trying to see an inkling of, does he understand French? But does that answer your question? It was really the different tribes, the different...
I got the tribes, but there were times once you established who they all were.
Oh, I get you. Okay.
You played with it in many ways in the film.
There's quite a boring answer to that. There was a certain amount of English one of our finances needed, a certain percentage, so I looked at the scenes and could live with it, so.
Follow the money.
I don't know what Stanley Lover or any of the other actors. Do you do any research for your roles? Stanley Lover.
Yes, I did a little bit though. I got the part 2 weeks before to come on set, so I just decided to focus on the read through we did and meeting those boys was an absolute blessing. But indeed, I remember Jamie gave me a book about the Cistercian clan, if I can say. So I got into that, tried to find out as much as I could, but the only thing I could really focus on was the fact that they were those boys were quite extreme. So I just decided to go really sort of thinking about the fanatism of it. And I thought that was interesting.
How is that water? That must be crazy.
Yeah, it was cool, but actually we got a heat wave at first. Remember. Yeah, no, not those days, but the first 2 weeks we got a heat wave, so that was really actually very enjoyable.
And did you want to pass the mic just?
Look, Jamie's, he's brilliant and really is unbelievably encyclopedic. And of course, to be encyclopedic, he knows everything. I feel like, as compared to someone like me going in, and there's nothing that you approached him with that he didn't at least sound like he knew what he was talking about. And he also gave me a great book, The Crusader, which is historical fiction. But for me, I really wanted to get in touch with what it would be to be involved in a war that in methods of war that are so personal. You're so close, you can smell the person that you're killing or who's trying to kill you. It's not someone downrange, and the effects that would have on someone potentially coming back. And that book is really about that, about guys coming back and the change that happens. And I was really grateful for reading it. It was great.
And did you have a feeling about that? Your line? Of who you were?
Had a feeling about it? Yeah. I think, the job, there are so many different languages in the script. I think early on we we had to come to terms with the fact that the mute needed to have a language as well, and what exactly that was, and with looks and with gestures and with his heart and who he cared about and how much they resonate, and yeah, that was a very interesting process. I definitely did a portion of the experience up there silent, and I think on set and off, and I think uniformly the cast and crew decided they liked me a lot better when I was quiet rather than talking. So I spent a lot more time talking than quiet. But yeah, it was that was definitely part of the research too, part of the process.
It's quite a tough acting challenge.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what drew me to it. I'm grateful to have had the opportunity.
Got a question over here?
First of all, I wanted to say it's nice to see all of you are still alive, so that is comforting. I kind of like, well, everybody dies very violently. I kind of wanted to ask if what it felt like, both for the producers and for the director and for the actors, to sort of have the emotional core a young guy. There are a lot of strong men here and a lot of fighting and so on, but really the core of the purity is a young kid, really, and how they all, we see how the mute feels about him, but everybody else tries to sort of manipulate him, and sort of, you can talk about that a little
I mean, I would just say first that there's something so pure about the character and innocent about the character, but he has so much strength and fortitude, and I think in lesser hands, it really would have been a big problem. I think all of us immediately saw who Tom Holland was and is as an actor and as a young man, and how pure of heart he is and how committed he is as an artist. And in lesser hands, I think it would have been a real problem. But I think we all have and had enormous love for him right off the jump, enormous respect, and not just for a guy his age, but for any guy, period.
Yeah, just to add to that, I thought it was a good choice that Jamie made, really, because religion doesn't come out too well in this. Organized religion is quite corrupt and dealing with fear, control, and so it could have been a very negative film about religion. And it's nice to see the pure faith of the novice, so that there is some good within spirituality, but this particular spirituality. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's where you were coming from, Jamie. Yeah.
Sure. But no, I think it was something early on that said focusing, we had to kind of run through the story using Tom's character as a surrogate really for the audience. So he hasn't really traveled that much across outside of the small monastery, like that very small area in Ireland. So all of this, just even across Ireland, at a time when people didn't move beyond Valley, it was kept himself very low. So it was really seeing him and his preconceptions about religion being shifted from what he encounters.
Well, certainly as an audience member, you're sitting there thinking, should they succeed? Maybe not. Maybe it's not a great thing. So certainly it worked.
Good.
So I've noticed that there was not a single email of the entire movie. Any idea behind that?
Touchy subject in Ireland at the moment.
Brendan, do you want to take this?
Which guy wants to talk about it?
I give you a bit of mansplaining.
Yeah.
Well, unless you wanted to explain why.
I'll start.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And earlier drafts of the script focused a lot more on Tom Holland's character's family. That's and his relationship with his mother. There were other female characters in various parts of the story, but then through development and we for budgetary reasons, we were trying to keep to the countryside and away from buildings. it's also the other basic thing is that the story's about a group of monks, and they meet up with a group of knights. It's not easy to always shoehorn female characters. And do you want to respond to that?
I mean, we did, there was some minor female characters and they were cut because they nearly stood out actually. But there was talk at one stage, no, I don't know, did you know this, Connor? Me and Jamie had, there was talk about getting female characters into it, maybe making, was it the newspaper? There was wild talk, changing somebody, and we had a secret weapon, which was we were going to change monks to nuns.
Yeah.
But we never told anyone this. It was just something that if suddenly the powers that be, I don't know who they are, but if somebody said you need major female roles, we were thinking of making them nuns. I don't know how that would work.
More romantic.
Yeah, romance and monks doesn't go too well.
How did you
During
connect
the
the dots?
during the filming, did the weather help you set the tone you were looking for?
Well, that's the two of them. The vlog scene was with just smoke machines. And no, that was a freezing cold lake. And to add to the, which works perfectly with the second question, the weather was, as Stanley said, we have heat wave. A lot of those scenes are gone, not necessarily because of the heat wave, but the pace was a bit slow at the start. They also looked too pretty and looked too nice. It didn't look miserable enough. All I can say to you is I could tell you many stories, like we couldn't go out on the boat one day, but I just remember standing on the beach many days and the ADs would shout and we'd look around and we'd see a big black cloud over the Atlantic and we would know that, okay, in 15 minutes we all have to hunker down and we have to wait for 20 minutes until this storm passes over and then it's gone. So, I mean, you guys had the cold really from the water, from the sea and the lake and the...
We're so happy.
A question,
I got one.
please?
Hi, was Richard Armitage's fun, magic trickstick, was that true to the period, like that tool, that torture device? Or was that something that
It was basically an arrowhead. That was the idea. Is that it was using a barbed arrow. Is it true? Yes, there were priests and knights who were torturing Greek priests, Orthodox priests in Constantinople before. Whether or not they would do that with this particular thing, there's possibly a certain amount of invention there, but as an arrowhead, yeah. I think in the original scene, he starts breaking his bones one at a time with a club, and then you didn't think that was violent enough. He said make it more icky.
Okay.
Well, I'm afraid that's all the time we have, so we'll have to let the